An hour southeast of Palm Springs, there's a massive lake, the largest in California, in fact. This lake was at one time a destination resort, but this French Riviera of California only lasted a brief period before the area was generally abandoned due to ecological issues. Keep an eye on your blood pressure, because we're visiting the Salton Sea. The Salton Sea was accidentally created in 1905 when an engineering blunder caused the Colorado River to flow unimpeded into the area through irrigation canals. Despite attempts to construct dams and headgates to control the disaster, the Imperial Valley was flooded over the course of nearly 2 years, and the Salton Sink became the Salton Sea. Oops.
The new lake drew curious visitors who often brought their boats to experience this overnight oasis that now existed a day's journey from Los Angeles. It wasn't too long before developers smelled money in the air, and in the decades that followed, beach towns were slowly built up, featuring yacht clubs, golf courses, and plenty of fish introduced into the lake.
At the height of its popularity, the Salton Sea attracted over 1 million tourists a year, but this peaked quickly. In the 1970s, heavy storms flooded the lake, causing damage to the surrounding towns. The lake is also endorheic, meaning there's no outlet to the ocean. Due to this, there's nowhere for the salt levels to go, but up.
The Salton Sea was already saltier than the Pacific Ocean. Add in some pesticides and toxins from farming runoff, and you have a recipe that resulted in nearly all life in the lake slowly dying off. The bodies of those dead fish, combined with algae blooms and the harsh California desert sun, created a rather unpleasant odor that continued to drive people away from the area. Despite all this, the Salton Sea wasn't completely abandoned. Bombay Beach still features a small population and displays some fascinating art installations along the shoreline. It may not draw the massive crowds of the mid-20th century, but tourists continue to explore this body of water and the surrounding landscape.
A resort that was never meant to be, the Salton Sea could easily be seen as nothing but a tragedy. Instead, people have found a unique beauty in its existence. Slowly shrinking for decades, the Salton Sea could very well one day evaporate completely. But until then, this is a unique accident that you can see when you take the Reid Less Traveled.